Okay, so this is my first podcast. It's a little weird. I'm not used to this. But I always wanted to make one, so here I am. You are going to hear my computer because it is the loudest thing on the face of the earth. It's got like 20 fans in it. I'm pretty sure I don't know how my buddy built this, to be honest with you. But yeah, this is my first podcast, and I'm going to call it Knuckleheads Podcast. I was going to call it Meat Wagons Podcast, but I know that it sounded ridiculous. I still might. But yeah, I've been, for the past like 2 hours, I've been looking up ways to make YouTube art, because that's where I'm going to try to put the podcast, like YouTube, like channel art and thumbnail art. It's actually a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. It's actually a lot easier than I thought it was going to be, which is surprising because I'm not good with technical stuff when it comes to, computers and all that other stuff. But this computer, my buddy Josh built for me, and he built this thing out of spare parts. Okay, he's like, oh yeah, here you go. And the things that I did need, I was like, oh man, I can't afford them. He's like, oh, I got it. I can't thank him enough for building the computer for me. But like, when it comes to me not being able to do things, I like to do things myself. So like, when I can't build a computer, I'm like, oh, I'm just going to save up money for it. And then when somebody wants you like to build it up now, it's like, oh, I'll pay for everything. And then in your head, it's like, I can fucking pay for it, dude. Anyway, I'm not complaining. But yeah, this is weird. I'm sure I'll get used to it more faster and faster. But I was thinking about making like a list of things to freaking talk about. But I'm like, that's not. I mean, I guess that's what podcasters do, but I'm not that sophisticated yet, which I need to be. So this year, by the way, Happy New Year to everybody. Happy 2019. I did absolutely nothing. I laid in my room with my dog and I watched movies. Watched Bird Box for the first time, and to all you haters, it's a great movie. I don't care what you say. It's a great movie. It was like that. I've never even seen The Quiet Place, so I can't like say anything about that. But from what I've seen, I like alien movies. I like aliens. Love aliens, actually. And I'm guessing The Quiet Place is about an alien that can't see, but they can hear really well. That's why everyone's not talking. Pretty sure that's what the movie's about. But I just haven't watched it yet. So, but I liked Bird Box a lot. I watched this movie called How It Ends last night. Great movie up until the end. The ending was trash. They just get away in some old beat up 4x4 that's not fast. I can tell you that right now. But I'm not going to ruin it for people who haven't watched it. Yeah, that's all I did. I didn't drink a drop of alcohol. I don't really drink that much anymore. Beginning of 2018, I drank a little bit more than what I do now, which is like every weekend pretty much, not during the weekdays. But me and my best friend that I lived in Ohio and then I moved down to Georgia. I'm sure everybody knows that. But when I moved down to Georgia, it was partying every weekend. Me and my roommate would build bikes and get ready for the racing season 2018, which I participated in the whole season. And we could have went to Galat, but the hurricane that hit the East Coast kind of stopped that from happening. And I wasn't able to go anyways because of money and all that other, money's always an issue. But I raced every race, and I was proud of myself because I've never been on I've never been on a bike before a year and a half ago, and I got CBR 600 F4i. It's an 02, and when Jeremy started working on it, that's my roommate Jeremy. Whenever he started working on it, it didn't run. He got it running, and then when I got down to Georgia, I did a lot of work to that bike, and it wasn't all me. Jeremy did help me a lot because I didn't know how to do anything. Same thing with my first job when I got down here. When I was bouncing, it's my other roommate yelling at his kid. When I was bouncing at a bar down here, which I hated. I don't like bouncing, but I've done it a lot just to make side money. I was bouncing at a bar for a couple months, I think, and the pay was horrible. So plus the management wasn't that great either. So I was like, okay, that job was just something to get me by until I could find a better job. And I found a job at a Nissan dealership because I used to work at a Nissan dealership in Ohio. But when I started there, I was helping out one of the master techs. I was just working underneath them, and then another master tech started, so they had to move me down, and I had to help 2 oil techs. So I was running inspections for them, and I didn't like that. I didn't like running inspections. I knew I was capable of more. And then one of the old techs moved down to be an actual technician, and I started changing oil. Then we got another guy, and he was inspecting. And then they were like, hey, you're going to go work on the Cadillac side because you got Nissan and then Cadillac that worked right next to each other. I was like, okay. And I've been working GM vehicles for the past year, and I do love it, but my passion isn't with cars. It's with motorcycles, and which I'm going to school March time frame and MMI UTI down in Orlando, Florida. So I'm pretty excited for that. It's just the whole setting up for college is fucking ridiculous. I must have called, especially dealing with the VA. Oh, I'd rather not deal with the VA, but it's got to get paid for. So I eventually want to have like a bunch of people do my chairs so loud. Sometimes it'll break like when I'm leaning back because I got this chair for like $10 off of the buddy I used to work with in Ohio at a fencing company. And I leaned back once, and it snapped, and it like leaned back pretty far, and I brought my feet up because I was petrified that I was falling to my death, and I kicked the crap out of my computer desk, and everything on my computer desk jumped a little bit. Everything fell off. Everyone was laughing at me. I'm like, I really need to get rid of this freaking chair. I still haven't gotten rid of it. I broke it and then fixed it, and then broke it and then fixed it. I don't know why I just don't get a new one. Oh wait, maybe it's because they're $130 freaking dollars. Ridiculous. But I'm excited to go to school. I'm trying to get my dog, my puppy. His name's Diogi. I'm pretty sure all of you know that he's taking a nap right now. But I'm trying to get him certified to be my service dog so I don't have to find somebody else to watch him while I go to school. And because I don't want to do that, I want to keep him with me. But I also want to do the school housing, the solo school housing. And if I do that, I can't bring him into the school housing unless he's a certified service dog. So I'll be working on that at least for the better part of the month. I know it's like New Year's and Christmas time frame. No one's going to be at freaking work. I mean, I sent my school rep 2 emails and she hasn't replied. So I'm going to guess that she doesn't have work until probably tomorrow. Hopefully get an email back from her. I've been busy. Oh my God. The end of 2018 was so busy for me, and it still is. It's going to be even more busy this year because I'm going to have to move twice. I'm going to move down to Orlando to start school, and then once school's over, which will end right before the new year, I believe. Yeah, right before 2020, and then I have to move back home. But real help, my girlfriend's gonna be helping me out. She's gonna fly down and come hang with me right before I start school, and then right after school, right when I get done with school, she's gonna fly down to Georgia and then ride with me back home when I move back home. So she's definitely gonna help me out there. Which I don't have to worry about DOG and road trips because he absolutely loves being in the car. I wish I could get him better with water. I think the worst decision I made was trying to force water on him because I tossed him in the water. He crawled out and looked at me like, don't ever do that again. I was like, all right, I'm sorry. Which reminds me, every year, right, my very small circle of best friends, we all get together and we call it, they call it Man Day. They're very simple. I mean, that's what it is. It's simple. It's exactly what it is. It's Man Day. We go out there, all my buddies, just the dudes, go out in the middle of the woods, or it's usually somebody's like property, obviously. We shoot guns and we drink. And it's about the only time that I'm probably going to drink more than I usually do on that certain day. And it's only one night. But that one night, just, it's a blast. Because all my friends are fucking stupid and moronic. And we get these crazy ideas in our heads where we just, let's take a bunch of tannerite and blow up this target. And then they saw a freaking deer once, and then they walked in the middle of this path and they tried to shoot at the deer. I'm like, what are you going to do? You going to cut it up right here? We're going to eat it? You're going to waste the meat? You just killing stuff to kill it? Yeah, they're ridiculous. But I remember the first year was at my buddy's farm, and they had about 3 little ponds. And we had this guy that was just a friend of ours. He had just moved to Ohio, and he didn't know anybody, so we invited him. And he was... he never had beans on the fire, so we threw a can of beans in the fire. Well, like we set it on the ash, so it heated up. So we grab it, we poke holes in it, and he is baffled. He's like, why are you guys eating out of the cans? Don't we have bowls? I'm like, dude, this is camping. This is camping, dude. This is what it's about. Feeling the outside. You gotta be outdoors. Pitch a tent. Pitch a real tent. Fucking perverts. But he washing his hands. By the end of the night, he was washing his hands in that little pond. That's the sound of him washing his hands in the pond. But he, yeah, by the end of the night, he was washing his hands in the pond, and we were shooting guns, having a great old time. I'm not going to go any more depth than that. No one needs to know everything that goes on out there. The whole motto is, it gets weird when the sun goes down, like real weird. Not gay though, I promise. One of them's married with 3 kids now, but he's still as wild as ever. I think my plan is when I get home from school is to start a little power sports shop in Grove City. Hopefully, that's the plan. I mean, we'll see. But my fallback would be welding, so I could still do power sports and weld at the same time. Something I like trades. I like to do trades. I don't have a studio, and I'm just like recording in my room. So when everybody slams the door out and the rest of the house or like talks with even a remotely high voice, it is like, I'm sure you guys are going to hear the hell out of this. But I'm poor, so I think it'll get better once I go to school and I can do this as like a little hobby, you know, besides drag racing, just to pass the time. And, you know, hopefully I can get, when I go back home, I like to get like a little studio and just get all my friends, have some beers, and just talk about the stupid stuff. Let me tell you one little story. This podcast is going to be real short because this is like my first one, and I want to hear it after I get done. I'm sure you just heard them slam the door. They freaking slam doors like crazy here. But when I was stationed at Camp Lejeune, this is before I deployed. This is when my best friend DJ, just got back from deployment, and he said, "Hey man, why don't you come over to the barracks and let's hang out? You know, let's party." So, you know, we started partying and drinking and having a good time. And they're a bunch of grunts, and I love grunts. They're nuts. My little pogue ass was hanging out with them in their barracks room, and I was like, I'm getting really hungry. And DJ's like, yeah, we're about to go get some Taco Bell. If you got any cash, I'll get you something. So I gave him a $5, and I said, yeah, just give me some chili cheese burritos. By the way, they don't have chili cheese burritos here in South Georgia. I know. Anyways, I told him, I was like, yeah, just give me some chili cheese burritos. He was like, all right. So I get drunk, and I climb up on the top bunk of the bed, and I go to sleep. The next morning, I have this soggy ass $5 bill shoved in my mouth. I had been sleeping with a $5 bill in my mouth because DJ, jackass, put it in my mouth and then took a picture of it, posted it on Facebook. Or it might have been, I think it was on Facebook. I still have the picture. I was passed out hard, and the $5 were just sitting on the brim of my mouth, right. He tucked it right in between my lips, and was like, "Oh, this is if you stay in my room, you have to pay." That was the caption. I'm like, dude, DJ, that $5 is probably filthy as shit. That's probably got like everybody's nasty freaking hands on it. Prick. I swear, I grew up with him, and he's nuts. I'll never have a more best friend than that. We're both insane. But all right, I'm gonna try to do this. If it sounds good, as good as I want it to, I'm going to try to do one of these at least once a week, and then we'll move on from there. But yeah, let's stop here. Until next week.